Hi, I'm Bill Brussman with Coon Rapids High School here. Today I'm going to cover the operation and setup of the plasma cutters that we have here. We have the Hypertherm 35 or 380, this one is. This is the one that we use most common for what we're doing in class. When we get into the heavier stuff, we'll use this one here. But anyways, to start out with the setup, the first thing that we need to understand is there is consumable tips in here, and what I'm doing is basically unscrewing it, taking it apart here. I'm going to lay it out on the pieces here. We have the nozzle, we have the electrode, and we have the keeper that basically fits in. These two parts here can, they're consumable, they wear, okay? What we're looking for on this tip here, and I'll come a little closer to the camera here, but if you can see it, you have a small hole here in the center, and what happens is that hole begins to wear wider and wider, and so your concentrated stream becomes wider and wider, and it doesn't cut through as well. This is the electrode, and this has been used very briefly, but you can see right here in the center, this is kind of the main electrode, and what happens is that starts to eat away and becomes more of a hole, okay? So these are in good shape. That's the first thing that you want to look for, is that you have those in good shape. And it basically fits in just like this. This one goes over, fits in here, and then this basically screws up onto the torch, okay? Now, the next thing that we need to understand is that because it's electricity, we have to have a complete circuit. So I put my ground clamp, I can either put it directly onto the workpiece, or like I have a metal table underneath, and I'm going to put it to the metal table underneath, so if I need to move around the piece, it's kind of out of my way, and I still have continuity, right? Now, on this machine, we happen to have it on a 25 amp circuit, and what we found is 21 is the setting for this 10-12 gauge that works pretty darn well. And so what we've done is actually put a pencil mark and just simply align it to that pencil mark. And what we found is if we go beyond that 21 amp, occasionally it'll want to blow the circuit, so we keep it at that setting. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on, and you're going to notice that a light comes on here, okay? This AC is telling me that I have AC. Now this also has to be connected into the compressed air. This one, we can regulate it down, but for the most part we have it somewhat regulated down over here. Now this particular machine wants full pressure. It will self-regulate its pressure down. Now we have some lights below, and I want people to know what these are. The first one here, if I were to pull the trigger and I do not have compressed air hooked up to it or turned on, that will light up yellow. And that will signify that this light right here is that I'm missing my compressed air. Okay? A torch contact tip problem will light up on the next one down. And the bottom one is a temperature light. That is basically stating that it is getting a little too hot. Right? Now, this simply works by flip the little handle back here, and I'm going to put my glasses down just in case, but when I pull the trigger, you can see that it gives a little arc plasma, and it will go a lot deeper when I have the complete circuit contacted. Okay? Now in a second here, this compressed air will go ahead and stop. The proper operation of this is to rest it and normally set it directly on the metal. Now what I want people to notice is that I have a slight angle of the handle, but my torch, the actual contact, is straight up and down, straight vertical. I see too many students that will tip it to one side. They put this so that it's level, and that angles the contact, and then it's angling through the metal. You want to be perfectly straight up and down with the actual contact. That means that the handle will have a slight upward angle to it and straight vertical. Right? Now, when I travel with this, the key is to keep these sparks shooting downward and not out. When you see them shoot out, you're going too fast. Right? Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up a little quick fence here. And what I'm doing here is just simply taking a measurement as to what the offset is, which is approximately 3/16 of an inch. Right? And I'm going to kind of use a existing edge here, just kind of set up, right? And travel. And I'm going to simply complete this cut. And all I'm going to do is take a piece of angle iron, and I take a couple clamps here. Now I can clamp over here on the edge, and I'll angle it so that I can travel past it. But because I got an area over here, I can simply put it back here, and I can travel up here. Okay? Now, safety-wise, we need to use gas welding goggles. Okay, number 5 shade is what we're using. When we cut with this, we're mainly watching the sparks, not so much the actual arc. Alright? So I'm going to go ahead, put my gloves on, protect my hands as we go. Alright? And we're all set. Alright? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I place it up against the fence, and I'm slightly off the edge, and when I pull the trigger, I get the arc going, and I'm going to slowly travel. And I'm going to watch my sparks. Alright? So, there we go. Okay? Now, see how my sparks are shooting down? Okay? Most of the sparks are going underneath. See how I get a little bit that where it came up above? That means that I'm going a little bit too fast. I'm going to turn my torch here. I'll restart it. Okay. And I got the 2 areas that I skipped, so I'll reset over that area. Alright, now I can simply take it and it'll snap the rest of the way. Got a little offset area here. Alright, there we go. Now, you notice how I had gloves on. That piece can be worn. Alright, once I'm done, I can go ahead and turn it off. We have other equipment in the shop here that we can also use to cut pieces, but when we are on the large sheets, it tends to be a little awkward on some of the other pieces of equipment, and the plasma cutter, it seems to work a lot quicker and easier.